Hello, everybody. Welcome to CripChat, your weekly podcast for everything disability. Today, I have with me Jonathan Shar, Ibby D, and myself, David D. Today, we'll be talking about the challenges of having a physical disability in Australia. Please like and share.
Thank you very much, David. Welcome, everyone. Look, please feel free to comment. Let us know what your challenges are in having a physical disability. But we'll start the conversation with you, David. What are some of the challenges you face, in your community?
The trees sometimes aren't cut. I'm tall, and so sometimes they need to be cut down.
So you have a vision impairment?
I have a vision impairment. When I walk, I've got a cane. Sometimes the footpaths aren't even. I do tell the council to fix them up, and they do that. So I sometimes trip over the different levels of footpaths. And the ramps too need to be put in there to cross the road, so I know where to cross. Sometimes when I get to a crossing, bus stops have that metal thing, but that metal thing on the floor for the blind to feel. And I know there's a bus stop there. But we need something very similar to that for the crossings, because blind people can't see where crossings are.
Yeah, I think that's a very good tip. I think councils need to look into that, make it more accessible for people with vision impairment.
There are some crossings that have the audio tactile indicator, but that there annoys the residents because people who live there, they don't want to hear it all the time.
Yeah, no, I hear you. As a person with a powered wheelchair, I hear you, David.
So we need to get the councils to agree to put something where crossings are. Sometimes I can hear the crossings by the cars that go over the hump, if there is a hump there. Some crossings don't have humps, but some do. So you need something there on the floor so one knows there is a crossing also.
Yeah, I think that's a very good tip. For me as a person with a physical disability and having a electric powered wheelchair, sometimes when I go on those tactiles, it can be a bit bumpy. But I guess in saying that, the footpaths are a big issue, especially for us who use wheelchairs. Most of the time, we get uneven footpaths in our local community when we're out on the streets.
Uneven footpaths are a problem with me too, because sometimes I trip over.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous thing. Councils should look into it and make footpaths more level. And also, safe for wheelchair users, other users to be able to walk on it.
There's an actual app, Snap Solve. If you've got some problem, you take a photo of something that's the problem, you send it off, and it goes straight to the council that is needed because it knows where you're located. It just goes straight to the right council.
That's awesome. Sounds like a very effective app. For the viewers out there, it's Snap Solve. You can find it in the store. But what are also some of the challenges you have as a person with physical disability?
People don't move out of the way. I guess a lot of people look at their phones these days and walk.
Yeah, true. I'm guilty of that as well. You need to be careful as a person with a powered wheelchair as well. When you're looking on your phone, always look out on the road. Make sure you know where you're driving. I once fell off a curb and my wheelchair, was a 90-degree angle. It may be hilarious, but it's very dangerous. Lucky I didn't get injured. But there's also the attitudes that we come across as people with disability.
You know what attitudes I don't like?
Which one?
Attitudes that people think, they've got a car, they can park it on the footpath.
Oh, yeah. How does that make you feel, David? You're trying to just, walk across the footpath and there's no car there.
What, they're going to be there for 5 minutes? All right, 5 minutes, I can walk into it. I've walked into a truck thinking, they're just doing it's a removalist. All right, if you got a removalist, at least have someone there watching out for people.
I know, I agree, David, especially, with wheelchair users. Because they can't just get off the curb and then go around the car.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes it difficult for us. Once a car blocks the way, then we have to go back to where we came from and look for other accessible routes.
And some people actually try to go on the road, which is dangerous.
Very dangerous. So you need to be careful. But also, I get very uncomfortable with the questions people ask.
How long you been like this? What's your disability? Why? And how does it feel? And if I was in your position, I don't know if I would be able to continue on with life. Like, seriously, man.
That's very uncomfortable. We come across all these uncomfortable questions.
Have you heard all those attitudes? All those comments?
Most of them, yep.
I've heard them all.
It's not okay to ask these questions.
What is the line between people being curious or offensive?
Difference between people that are curious and people that are offensive?
So where do we draw the line, huh? Okay, so where do we draw the line between people that are curious and people that are not? That's a very good question, Jonathan. For me, if they're, young, they're curious, they want to ask the questions, that's okay. And I'm more than happy to answer them. And given that, they learn or they're educated about, people with disability. And I guess that we're all human beings at the end. But if you have a more mature person asking you these questions, some people from a cultural background even ask you with attitude as well. That's when you draw the line.
The ones that are concerning are the ones that actually ask you which way is the best way I can help you. Ask how can I help, not investigate.
So knowing what to say as well. So if you're curious, you can just ask politely and say, look, I'm curious. It's always good to be polite, in these situations. I think what makes us uncomfortable, being out there in the community is the way
Is when they start to judge.
people start to judge. Exactly. It's what I think it's in the way of us living our life. And we do come across that, all the time. Especially because they assume, which is another challenge that we come across,
Yeah.
assumptions that are being made. Just because you do have a physical disability, you really can't go, out
Yeah.
and have a life. You can't be independent.
Some people are stereotyping too.
Exactly. So all of those factors come into play, and it does limit the way we connect with our community, and also just to be involved. Like no one should be made an inspiration for getting out of bed. No one should be made an inspiration for learning how to use the bathroom. No one should be made inspirational just because they go to work. There is no such thing as being an inspiration. We need to cut the language altogether. People are not inspirational for doing the things that they do. We need to get rid of that language. It's it just angers me sometimes. Talking are good, yeah, but they're not.
They might think that they're cheering you on, but like seriously, man.
And so how do we educate these people, David?
I think we should start at the schools. When kids are young, getting them knowledgeable from when they're young.
Just be involved in the communities, what it's all about as well. Just go about doing whatever you do on a daily basis and show people that, we are all human beings. We need to be inclusive. We all belong. Nobody gets left behind. I think we need to get these conversations happening. So let's get these conversations happening in our community.
And how can I help someone that does have a physical disability, and how can I do it without making them feel uncomfortable?
That's good. Good stuff, David.
What do you find, Ibby, difficult with your wheelchair and getting around? What other things? Like I was walking in the shops the other day. They put displays out there. All right, we know you sell stuff, but don't put them in our way. Like with a cane, I find it a bit hard to walk around. I find it easier, but I still walk into it. But people with a wheelchair, I had my neighbour go, she had her grandson walking in a pram. She goes, it's that hard to walk through the shops because they put everything in the way. If a person that's fully able is walking a pram and finds it hard, what about someone in a wheelchair?
Exactly, exactly. Things often get in the way when we're traveling. Yeah, it can be toys, it can be just rubbish, litter on the floor. These things that we use wheels, they get caught in the wheels, and that stops us from traveling. But also, our wheelchairs are our assistive technology. So they're pretty much our legs. We rely on them to, guide us from A to B. People shouldn't use wheelchairs as a ride or for the fun of it, pretty much. That's where also education needs to come into play.
Ibby, what would you suggest to shops to assist you? Just say you want to get into a shop. What do you find hard to go into the shop and get something that you want? Sometimes there's a step you need a ramp. What about inside the shop?
Maybe our shelves are too high, which you can always ask for assistance. But what if there's nobody around and things are way too high for you to reach? But also the aisles can be narrow sometimes. There are a lot of shops. The aisles are very narrow.
Yeah, too narrow. Huh? Is that in the supermarkets?
Makes it hard. Yeah, supermarkets especially, David. Makes it hard for us to navigate through narrow aisles.
So when you go into a supermarket, can you go straight to the service desk if they're not that busy?
Sometimes, yeah, but sometimes no. Sometimes it's very difficult. But we shouldn't live in a society where it's half-half. We either need to be fully inclusive or working towards being fully inclusive. And all stores need to be made accessible. I think it needs to be legislation.
So I believe that too. So you're there to sell to clients. You've got to include everyone, not just the able.
Yes.
If you're going to talk about disabled, you could also consider the women with children in a pram too.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, Ibby, what are your final thoughts?
People with physical disabilities face challenges every day. And so these challenges come down to attitudes, accessibility. We're all yearning for inclusion. We all want to be included in society and just live every day as human beings without being made to feel inspirational by other people for the work that we do and what we do on a daily basis. So look, get the conversations happening out there and make business more accessible for people with disability. What are your final thoughts, David?
My final thoughts are, you see how long that's got disability, get to know them. Don't sit there, I'll just pat him on the back, you do great work. We understand, we're living life too. See if you can get to know them. Ask them, what's the best way to assist you? If you need assistance, can I assist you? But it's always good to see it from someone else's shoes. Don't put them down. Sometimes you can probably think you're encouraging them, but you're putting them down too. Be careful what you say to them, but get to know them. And then if you're doing something, if you've got a shop, think about other people that have disability, people that are in wheelchairs. If they need help, think, if you're in a wheelchair, would you be able to access things? If you think you can't access them, ask people with wheelchairs when they come in, how can I help you? What can I assist you with? And always be thoughtful of others, the elderly and the people with disability. Always think of people that can't do what you can do.
Yeah, get the conversations happening. I mean,
Get the conversations happening. Get to know them, and then you'll see. You'll find out exactly what they find difficult. Get the conversations happening.
yeah, thank you very much, David. And thank you very much. So you've been watching CripChat, your weekly podcast on everything disability. Join us next time as we talk about more things disability.
Please like and share. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now.